to the 2021 PIE Annual Luncheon. I'm John Bircher. I went to West Craven High School. I'm a proud alum, and I'm proud to be here with you guys again this year. Now, we're here to celebrate our educators and staff who worked at Craven County Schools and that support PIE throughout the year. This year is so different. So this year's luncheon is different. I'm here virtually. You're gonna have constant slides showing you the good things that happened in Craven County Schools this year. This event traditionally celebrates our educators and staff who work at Craven County Schools and support PIE throughout the year. And in that way, this luncheon is exactly the same. Because of our generous sponsors this year, we're able to bring it virtually. And what about our theme? Our theme this year is Relate, Achieve, Believe. Who tells your story? Relate, Achieve, Believe is our keynote speaker's mantra. And Who Tells the Story is a song from, I think it's a musical, and I think it's called Hamilton. And you know what's interesting? Dr. Brian Johnson, he is the superintendent of the Hamilton County Schools. So you see what we did there? Little theater fun. Seriously though, we really hope that you look back on the school year and that you remember your victories, your students' victories, and our community's victories, and you can tell your good story. And who tells PIE's story? You do. Every day when a PIE grant is deployed and when a teacher relates to and believes in their students. These grants would not be awarded without the dedicated leadership of the PIE board, and we could not have awarded over $400,000 in grants and programs during this prior school year to our teachers and administrators. An exceptional story. In 1998, when the commissioners first approached the schools about forming PIE, the correspondence between the two organizations was electric. And today we are celebrating the vision of that initial thought process into forming Partners in Education. And now, just as if we were at the PIE Luncheon, we're going to begin with the national anthem, performed by our Havelock High Band and directed by Mr. George Benitez. Mr. George Benitez leads a talented group of musicians. The band program is an integral part of Havelock High, and they take pride in saying they're part of the RAM fam. Our band programs provide students with the opportunity to develop their skills and talent in music, as well as give students a more well-rounded education. Mr. Benitez and performers, thank you for that beautiful rendition of the national anthem.
Now, you know we would not be here today without the support of our partners, donors, and members. We are truly grateful for those who believe in public education. Their partnership made it possible for us to award 19 PIE grants for $36,000 during this school year, and that's a record. When we first approached our sponsors about holding a virtual luncheon, not one sponsor pulled their financial support for this event. In fact, several businesses contacted us and asked to be a part of the luncheon because they want to celebrate our educators. These sponsors are partners who believe our community is best served by a strong public education system. And without our partners, we would not be able to bring this event to you free and, most importantly, raise money for PIE grants. As you see their names on your screen, realize they are making good things happen at Partners in Education. It is this kind of community involvement that enhances the quality of education our schools provide. PIE offers several grants that are funded by these businesses that provide opportunities for our teachers and administrators that might not otherwise be available to them. Although this is a virtual event, we are very fortunate to offer you entertainment and a video from Dr. Johnson because our partners believe in you, our Craven County Schools, staff, and educators.
And this is where it all began, PIE grants. PIE grants are an expression of faith in teachers who are searching for creative and innovative ways to make immediate impact on the life of their students and have the potential of encouraging long-range growth in educational performance. They are offered to all teachers at all grade levels. Now, since 1989, PIE has been changing the lives of students and families in our community by providing our educators with the financial resources that enhance and reward innovative approaches to educational excellence. The Board of Directors of Partners in Education is so grateful for your continued support today and throughout the year. What I'd like to do is to tell you about some of those grants that were funded by local businesses and local organizations that really care about public education and furthering the ability of students and teachers to be creative in the way that they educate the students. International Paper Math and Science grants. PIE and International Paper see the need to assist Craven County educators to fund hands-on activities in math and science. This grant allows teachers the opportunity to purchase materials that are otherwise unavailable to teachers of math and science subjects. There were 8 grants awarded this year for a total amount of $2,000. Those grants were used by teachers in the STEM projects that they wanted to undertake, and that gave them the ability to further the students' education for those purposes. Funded by the Twin River Artists Association, the purpose of this grant is to fund supplies for innovative hands-on art projects. Now, teachers may apply for up to $250 to pay for materials needed. 8 grants for a total amount of $2,000 was provided for this grant. Harold Bate, what a guy. Philanthropist, investor, retired lumber executive. Through his generosity, the Harold H. Bate Foundation carries on his legacy. PIE was honored to be selected for a $30,000 grant to be used for Bate Foundation individual school grant programs for the 2020-2021 school year. 6 Craven County school principals were able to use this Harold H. Bate grant for arts, music, health, and physical fitness. International Paper also has the International Paper Literacy Grant. The focus of this grant is to support programs for literacy in Craven County. 2 grants for a total of $10,000, $5,000 each, were awarded and were given for direct services to our students to support literacy programs in our schools. In honor of Addison McCoy, we talk about her every year. This year she's in 3rd grade. The Aspire to Inspire grant was established by the McCoy family as a yearly grant. This grant is for activities related to math and/or science. The grant was made available to all 3rd grade teachers because of Addison's 3rd grade year. Next year, it'll be 4th graders. We just think that's a fantastic way of expressing importance of school and what we need to do for our kids each and every year. In honor of Dr. Curtis Jones, who spoke at our previous PIE banquet, he is the superintendent of the Bibb County School District in Macon, Georgia. He was the 2020 National Superintendent of the Year. He was our speaker last year at the PIE Luncheon. We have a $2,000 STEM grant in his honor. It is exciting that technology is an area of interest for our sponsors. Toyota of New Bern and Suddenlink each funded a $3,000 technology grant. Teaching 21st century skills without the appropriate resources is very difficult, and we are so glad that they recognize the importance of this grant. Let's hear it from our teachers about the impact these grants have made on their classrooms.
Hello, my name is Luana Palamatakis, and I am the music teacher at W.J. Gerganis Elementary School in Havelock. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to all of the supporters of PIE, because my students could not have had the amazing year that we have had in music class this year through the pandemic without your support. Through PIE, I was able to obtain 2 grants for instruments and materials that my students could use, that we could clean and sanitize and safely use among the classes. Whereas some of the things we already had in our music room, we weren't able to do that. So it's really made a difference for my kids this year, and I am forever grateful for all that you do. Thank you so much.
Aren't they great, guys? Let's give them another round of applause. We're going to be doing our last piece, and I believe we'll talk about how I think Mr. Lee would like to kind of maybe navigate with dismissal so that we can socially distance as we exit. If you want to help with that, we've got one more piece. These guys on the stage have been playing 3 years. Hopefully the 6th graders that are in the band can see what the maturity level happens between where you are now and where you can eventually be. They're playing at a high school level. They're fantastic. They've been very patient with me. I've been very patient with them. Okay? And they're going to be playing a piece because we weren't quite sure if we were supposed to have concerts or not. We can have concerts at least half capacity, but we had a plan in place called a virtual ensemble. And we do want to give a shout out to our sponsors for our t-shirts that we're wearing today. The 6th graders are wearing as well. Holton Dentistry and Fuller's Music. They sponsored our t-shirts not just for Grover C. Fields Middle School, but we did a collaboration with H.J. McDonald and Havelock Middle. The other middle schools were doing their own performances. So we are doing a virtual ensemble thing. If you go on YouTube and look up virtual ensemble, it's like a Zoom band concert, except it's a little bit trickier to record that because, as all my students know, it's a little bit more, it takes a lot more planning. They have to record themselves, they have to have an audio track, they have to do certain things to line things up, and they're really worried about trying to play it perfectly. So they've done an excellent job. We're going to be releasing that date very soon once we get that engineered and compiled together. That's being engineered by Dr. Whitfield, the director at Havelock Middle School. So we're excited to premiere. It's the first time we've done a collaboration this size. 6th grade is doing a separate piece called 5-Note Jive with hot cross beats that we're starting with first. And the piece we're about to perform and end with is called The Dragon Roll. So we hope you guys enjoy this.
Teacher of the Year is one of the most exciting and important things that an educator can make happen for their career. This year, we've got a great recipient. Her name is Arnita Morris. She's an 8th grade math teacher at H.J. McDonald. Guess what you get to drive for an entire year? It's a 1994 GMC Yukon. I use it for hunting. Stay right there. I'm sorry, that was the wrong car. Miss Morris, I'm very sorry, but you actually do get to drive a brand new Toyota Camry from Toyota New Bern. This is their 4th year of offering this vehicle for the Teacher of the Year candidate, and we're so excited for that to happen. And I'm really excited that I get to keep my congratulations, Miss Morris. The moment we've been waiting for. I'd like to introduce to you our guest speaker this year at the Pie Banquet. Dr. Johnson is a native of Nashville and a proud product of public schools. He has dedicated his entire career to public education, serving as a teacher, a school administrator, a director of secondary schools, chief academic officer, and now as the superintendent of schools in Hampton County, Tennessee. He holds degrees from Austin Peay State University, Belmont University, and Trevecca University, where he earned his doctorate in educational leadership. I've heard this man speak. You are going to be inspired. We're so excited to have him here. One of the things that we're so excited for you to hear about is Hamilton County Schools' improvement since he's been superintendent. In the last 3 years, the district has gone from 130th to 2nd in the state for student academic growth, making Hamilton County the fastest improving school district in Tennessee. Some of those improvements include increasing the number of reward schools, which is one of Tennessee's highest honors, from 5 to 32, and increasing scholarship dollars earned from $20 million to more than $100 million. Increases in achievement for high school assessed subjects by 7% or more, and an increase of 4.5% in the number of Black, Hispanic, and Native American students scoring proficient on state assessments. I also just today saw a U.S. News and World Report article that ranked 8 of Hamilton's schools in the top 100 high schools in Tennessee. Now, during the all-knowing and all-encompassing COVID pandemic, Dr. Johnson worked with community leaders and the school board to launch a 10-year commitment to providing high-speed internet to 28,500 economically disadvantaged students in Hamilton County for free to close that digital divide. Dr. Johnson has received numerous accolades for his leadership, including being named 2021 Tennessee Superintendent of the Year and 2020 Ed Week Leader to Learn From. He was listed as a superintendent to watch by the National School Public Relations Association, Outstanding Young Alumnus at Austin Peay, and Humanitarian of the Year from Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Southeastern Region. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Brian Johnson, Superintendent of Hamilton County Schools.
I'm so pleased to be with you today. My name is Brian Johnson. I serve as Superintendent of Hamilton County Schools in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and it's truly an honor to have the privilege of being before you today. I want to thank Ms. Darlene Brown, Executive Director of the Foundation, for the invite, and I would also like to recognize the amazing leadership that you have here in this district. Dr. Megan Doyle, thank you for your leadership, and I'd be remiss not to take a moment to acknowledge my former boss that poured so much into me as I was coming up as a young school leader, Dr. Tasha Diggs. Thank you so much for all that you've done for me personally, and I appreciate you. You know, I love the theme of your day, Who Tells Your Story? Relate, Believe, and Achieve. What an amazing theme. And I hope that as I say a few words and leave you with a few thoughts, that we go out of here motivated and inspired about thinking out about how we continue to serve children with absolute excellence. You know, this year has been such a challenge, right? As the saying goes, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. And we've definitely had difficult waters to navigate throughout the course of this year. We know that we've dealt tremendously with a global pandemic, unlike anything we've seen. But I've been so humbled and impressed and proud of the way teachers and leaders across the country, frankly, have responded in a situation in which there's no playbook, there's no guidelines, and much of the plane is being built in flight and was built in flight. The way districts responded was absolutely amazing. In addition to that, though, at the school door left the political unrest as well as the racial unrest, and all of those things mixed in to definitely make this year a challenging year. But in the midst of that, we know in the midst of challenges that it's really important to have relationship. My mind goes back to FDR's presidency and when he was navigating the country during the Great Depression, one of the strategies he implemented was fireside chats. And the thought was to bring folks together, to get common message out there and to build community. And relationships matter, not just in moments of good, but also in moments, and more importantly, in moments of challenge. It's said that teachers spend 1,000 hours, the research bears, with students over the course of a school year. My own mind personally goes back to teachers I had, and one that sticks out, Mr. Willie Scruggs. Actually, my first experience on a college campus was a result of this man. He saw it fit on a Saturday to pile up a group of myself and my friends to experience a college ball game and be on a college campus. And it was an inspirational moment that still lives with me to this day. And so many teachers, just like Mr. Willie Scruggs, that are out there that spend time outside of the normal school day to make sure that students are successful. Relationships for you, absolutely, and for students, absolutely, absolutely matter. But the truth is that 83% of a child's life is spent outside of the classroom. And so it is the partners in education, it's you, that ultimately help schools make a difference in the lives of children. You know, I would love to tell you of so many different stories about how partnership has made a difference, but there's one I'd like to highlight from our very own system, and know there's many like this in Craven County. I want to show you and tell you a little bit about TJ Yarnold. If you take a minute and check out this video.
My name is TJ Arnold. I'm a senior at Lookout Valley Middle High School. I grew up in Alton Park. I like to box. I like basketball. I'm an athlete, really, but boxing caught my attention. I always been fighting, you know, getting in trouble as a kid, fighting. One day, I got to fighting in my neighborhood, and this man, he came and picked me and the kid that I got to fight with. He took us to the gym. And from that day on, I just started getting real good, and I've been coming back every day.
So TJ, met him when I guess he was 12, 13 years old. A neighborhood friend of his brought him to the gym, and just getting to talk to him a little more and understanding his struggles of not having a father around, and struggling a little bit academically because of some behavioral choices that he had made in school. We realized that, hey, the YCAP program would be a good fit for him. So the YMCA YCAP program stands for Youth Community Action Project, and we work with middle school age kids that are referred to us through a variety of resources, the schools, juvenile court, but in a sentence, it's early intervention prevention.
I was angry a lot back then, certain stuff that I couldn't control, but once I got here, I found some place where I could take my anger out the right way. Like, I can come in here and hit a bag instead of going to school and getting suspended. Boxing is discipline. You gotta be disciplined. That's what I like the most about boxing.
You fast forward 4 or 5 years later, and now he's on our staff part-time and giving back to the next generation. And oh, by the way, he's competing for national championships.
At the last tournament I just fought at the USA Boxing National Championships in Shreveport, Louisiana. So I'm ranked #2 in the United States. So I'm on Team USA right now. The route I'm on, I'm gonna be qualified to go to the Olympics.
One of the things that we try to teach the kids when they get to that 16, 17, 18-year-old age range is that the Olympics is a very real opportunity, a chance for them to chase some dreams and dream big. So we'll see what happens. That'll be 2024. That's what we want to do, support him and let him chase his dreams.
That's huge. It's a lot of pressure on me, but I like it, you know, because this is what I want. This is my career. I really came this far and I really can keep going. I got my whole future ahead of me, so it's a good feeling.
You know, Rita Pearson said it as you watch that video, that every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. And in the life of TJ Arnold, it was a community member. As the school was working hard as it could, it was a community organization that stood up and said, TJ, we want you to become the best that you can absolutely be. Come be a part of our boxing club. We had the privilege of recognizing TJ a month or so ago at a school board meeting, and I beamed with pride. My wife was laughing at me. I beamed with pride as I was watching him in his last competition on my phone, downloading the app to make sure that I could stay in tune to how he was progressing. It's going to take all of us. We have a story to tell. It's going to take all of us, though, relating to make sure that we can believe and our students achieve and we reach the maximum for our students as we go into the 21-22 school year. Look, I want to tell you again, you have something special here in Craven County. A community that believes together, a village around children can absolutely do anything that it sets its minds to. There are so many TJs in your district that need you and are counting on you. Thank you for standing in the gap for each of them. I wish you Godspeed. Have a great summer, a relaxing summer, and have an amazing 21-22 school year.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. What an inspiring speech. We really enjoyed the video, inside the video, of what impact that you're making in Hamilton County schools. In honor of Dr. Johnson addressing the attendees at the 2021 PIE Annual Luncheon, PIE is offering a $2,000 grant to Craven County Schools principals for the 2021-2022 school year. The grant will fund hands-on math and science projects with a STEM focus. All you grant writers out there, start thinking about your projects. As I end this virtual lunch today, on behalf of the PIE board and the volunteers, I would like to thank everyone who has carried out our theme all year, that we relate, achieve, and believe in our teachers and students. Remember, it is always important who is going to tell your story. Make an impact, make it count. Public education is our greatest pathway to strengthening our community and our nation. And that is the good story to tell. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for attending the 10th Annual PIE